Hello, everyone. We actually ended up a group of three. I'm Hannah,
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Shay.
and we were assigned to the social media development project on sustainable stories for WildflowerBride Farms. I know, it's a super fancy name. So first, let me introduce Sarah, our client, and then we'll go over the project description. Sarah is the owner of WildflowerBride Farms, and she is definitely the heart and soul. She has a passion for farming, working with loyal customers, focusing on community, and she connects with other local farmers. Sarah is the sole proprietor of the farm, and she knows all of the inner workings. And so our aim was to assist Sarah in expanding her media output by making sustainable and reusable social media posts that will allow her to share the beauty of sustainability on her farm. We must mention that Sarah is a very busy lady outside of the off season, and so we endeavored to create an easy method that enabled her to post all year round. The project description was a little like this: using the lens of sustainability, discuss the benefits of local food and farm operations, plan and develop a social media strategy and a calendar year, and propose possible logos for the farm. Now, as we know, this description is a bit general, so we need to narrow it down a bit in order to figure out what our deliverable will be. And in order to do this, we really need to learn about the farm itself and boil down the sustainable actions. So while we didn't need to do much research generally, we did learn the ins and outs of this farm in order to convey the personality as well as the actions. What we did know prior to meeting with Sarah was that she wanted a new logo, and Kira, being super talented in this area, took this over immediately, and she'll explain this a bit further.
So our goals with this project were pretty clear after our first meeting with Sarah, as we all wanted to mainly focus on giving her a solid base to start her social media presence. Through the creation of posts for the rest of the year, we aimed to make it as easy as possible for her to accomplish promoting her business. We also all spread the message of her new Instagram page on our own social media platforms, both because we were really passionate and proud of our work, but also to hopefully start Sarah off with a bit of a following that she can expand upon in the coming year. We were also very adamant on making a schedule and templates that were sustainable for Sarah, and that there were templates that could be reused, extra posts that she could use as fillers or exchange with posts as she saw fit, as well as paving a path by setting up a whole year for her and making it possible for her to repeat our process independently. We were also set on giving her the most applicable advice that we could regarding a social media presence, as well as teaching her how to use new, easy, and free software in which she could gain the ability to continue with what we had started once we were completed with our project. For this project specifically, we focused on social, economic, and promotion of sustainability on a local bee farm. Our work, again, was a lot less research-based than other groups, so our lens of sustainability was adjusted accordingly, and our goals aimed to achieve what we saw through this lens.
One of the main goals of this project was to pre-develop posts that could be used on both Instagram and Facebook. And so as a team, we discussed a few options before landing on making the posts as reusable as possible. Not to be cheesy, but we wanted this to be a sustainable system for Sarah, especially as she's managing it over the year. And in order to make it user-friendly and easy, we decided to first discuss with Sarah what her expectations were in terms of her greater social media presence. Sarah set an achievable goal of posting once a month. She didn't want to bombard her clients, and so once a month seemed to be a reasonable timeline. I used a copyright-free software to develop something between 12 and 18 posts. I know I'm a bit of an overachiever. After the first week, we met with Sarah again to gauge her response and gain feedback. During this meeting, we added several more posts for specific events. And I think that the variety of topics that we were targeting showed Sarah that social media doesn't have to be a broken record. Greg mentioned that I needed to keep sustainability at the forefront of the project. And this was something that I was honestly struggling with, finding a balance between posts that promoted the farm and its unique products, and then specifically promoting the sustainable actions in a way that was personal to the farm. So I did go a little crazy, and instead of the original 12 posts, I made 21. And That's just how it goes sometimes. In our context, sustainable actions were focused on environmental sustainability. The farm uses no pesticides. The honey is filtered only for large impurities to keep the product as natural as possible. The reusable container program is accessible in order to reduce plastic waste. And we also discussed things like the economic sustainability of the farm, the desire to draw in more bucket families, the cost effectiveness of using social media as a free promotion technique. And so socially, we felt it was best to create some templates that could be used on multiple occasions. By doing this, the work we were doing would hopefully be sustainable for more than just the short term. And the benefits of reusing visual cues to remind customers of dates and opportunities hopefully would play into the economic sustainability of the farm as well, encouraging people to take part in sustainable actions. So these are a few of the posts we made. The template you see on the right is our Bucket Day post, and this will be used on multiple occasions because we purposefully left off any specific dates. Those would go in the caption of the posts. Again, we really wanted to have some posts that were filler, which allow for flexibility and choice in what is posted. And so Sarah can post more or less depending on how she feels she wants to promote the farm. A few ideas for what programs and opportunities Sarah wanted to hold throughout the year were thrown around at the beginning of our project. And as a team, we decided to create posts for every eventuality, even if there was not a set date. And so that's what we did with the B's and T's post on the right. Again, promoting the need for bees and their impact on our planet, a positive impact, was also a goal of ours, especially knowing that the decline in bee population has been happening over the last few years. And during the time of COVID, Sarah began free delivery. She conveyed to us that this was actually something, COVID or no, that she planned on continuing. And so we jumped on the bandwagon to promote this more personalized service. Farms are incredibly seasonal, and so the inclusion of these farming milestones in our social media calendar was important, and we put a precedence on this. Keeping sustainability personal to the farm was a goal that I intentionally put forth, and the post on the right is an effort to reflect this connection. These are my favorites. The post on the right is promoting what I see as the most sustainable practice that a consumer can follow, and so I felt that this post could be used many times throughout the year. Environmental impact of pesticides is well known, and so it was important to communicate to customers that the products of the farm are as natural as possible. So these posts reinforce the goals of communicating the personality of the farm, but also the specific cases of sustainable actions.
Okay, so we also created a PDF document that has a year-long calendar with tentative dates for all posts for Sarah. We discussed with Sarah which days or months certain posts were required to fall under, as Hannah discussed earlier, because of obviously the farm being seasonal. Here we see an example of August, the August month, and we have a bucket flow day along with a free range lamb post, both helping with two different seasonal things. We felt that bucket days should all be yellow highlighted because, as Hannah discussed earlier, bucket days is a large part of the farm's background and a huge part of sustainability with refillable buckets. The next one that we have here is March, and as we said a little bit earlier, we have 3 posts in March, but we just really got carried away and really enjoyed doing what we were doing, so we thought we'd give Sarah lots of options with what we had. So each month does have between 1 to 3 posts, all scheduled to Sundays. The idea of putting all posts on Sundays was to make the posting schedule easier to follow and understand, as Sarah said that she was a little bit worried about the functionality and complexity of Instagram, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible and give it a little bit of consistency.
So as stated, one of the original asks for this project was to create a new logo for the farm. It was my responsibility to create logos, which I focused on for the first week and a half, and these are the results of the first 2 trials. The top row consists of 2 logos that I designed with no input from Sarah, and just wanted to give an example of my own work as well as show my initial interpretation of the farm. Hannah and Shay were both eager to share their ideas with me in this initial process, which really helped spark my creativity moving forward. The bottom row is 2 designs that are variants of what Sarah asked me to do directly, incorporating the central image of a bee, specific text and lettering, as well as a specific color choice. Halfway through our project, our sponsor decided that she wanted to maintain her original logo as she felt it was the best representation of herself and her farm. We then halted the development of this project and moved our efforts in another direction. Because of this, there was never a final draft of our logo, but we did have the ability to give our support in other areas, such as giving advice on how to alter her current website to be more updated, as well as adding some ideas for posts for events that she would be attending in the coming year.
So I think that's pretty much it, but while developing a media outlet to promote the sustainability for Sarah's farm, I think we'd all agree it was an amazing learning experience. Like we touched on earlier, with only 3 members of our group, when the project is ideally made for 5, you would expect we hit many roadblocks. However, working with these 2 has been an absolute blessing, and it was so easy to tackle any issue that arose, especially with only 3 of us. So I just wanted to say thank you to them as well. This project gave us a unique opportunity to learn more about sustainability while also promoting it to the public. I think a huge takeaway from this project was the importance of supporting locals. As we learned more about Sarah and her lifestyle, it gave us a personal look into how much work it takes to run a sustainable farm and how beneficial it is for the environment in the long run. So as a whole, we definitely achieved widening the farm's customer base while also establishing a year-long plan to help promote the sustainability. And the Instagram page already has 32 followers only after a few days of being open. So I think we're all pretty excited about that. And hopefully it'll gain a little bit more even after this presentation. Thank you for listening from all of us.